Today we're going to replace a faucet in the forward head. The reason is, well, let's go take a look. This faucet, the extension is pretty short, so it's kind of hard to get your hands underneath it. So we're going to replace it with a faucet that extends out over the sink a little bit more. Let's take a look at that. This is a real basic faucet. They're referred to as laundry tray faucets or something similar. And as you can see, the extension is quite a bit more. So this guy is going to extend way out over compared to the other one. Make it a lot easier to use. Now note the laundry tray faucets have a threaded end. So you can, this is a standard hose connection, so if you need to do a freshwater wash down of something, you're already good to go. It's simple to hook up and use. Luckily for this job, we've got a access door that's in a convenient location. I'll take a look in here. And there, we just got a couple of nuts and get the sink drain actuator out of the way and we'll be good to go. So we've loosened the nuts that connect the hot and cold water pipes, so they're free. Next will be to remove these plastic nuts that secure the faucet itself. If you look closely, you can see one of the previous owners had painted the threads, the exposed threads of both the hot and cold faucet and that, so that made it really fun to get those nylon nuts off of there. Luckily one of them broke and the other one was a quarter turn at a time to infinity. And on the back side of the fiberglass countertop we find these old washers that were underneath, below the nylon nuts, and obviously rusted to almost nothing. But at least we're good to go. Time to put the new one in. Now this faucet was completely functional and it didn't leak. But sometimes you just have to look underneath and assess the real condition of things and kind of predict failure before it happens. This is just a mess. If you're happy with this on your boat, go for it. But I prefer to replace things early when it's really easy to do. You wait this long, it's really a pain in the ass. So now it's time to clean up our mess and put this beautiful piece of equipment in place. So here's another problem with waiting too long to do your maintenance. These rubber washers are hard as rock, so we'll have to use the trusty rigging knife to get those guys out of the way and put new ones on. Well, what I thought I found on the old faucet, instead of a crushed version of the standard rubber compression type fitting for a faucet, I found that that's actually a threaded material treated with an oily or tarry type substance wrapped around the pipe and backed with a very thin washer that rides inside of the nut right here. So it's been a bugger to get off. I've had to use a razor knife carefully and unthread it. And the first one's done. The second one, the washer is kind of stuck in the paint. Somebody went a little crazy with paint. So that's the next challenge. So there you go. That's what came out of it. It's essentially small scale packing, like you would use flax packing around a propeller shaft, and then the two washers that help apply even pressure to it. And apparently it's worked great for a lot of years. I have not seen this before in a common sink faucet. So now let's take a minute to just clean up the ends of the copper pipes so I have a nice smooth sealing surface. So that looks pretty good. Let's plumb it up and give it a shot. The old nylon nuts had a metal washer, as you recall, behind them. These plastic mounting nuts are much larger diameter, so I don't think a washer is going to be needed. So let's just snug these guys up. So there we are, all buttoned up. Turn down the freshwater pump to make sure everything's pressurized. A little light on the subject. And we've got the distance over the sink, so it'll be easy to use. Job done. So lessons learned are when you're painting in your heads, keep paint off the threads underneath your sink. Otherwise, it's going to bring new challenges when you go to replace. Always check for leaks when you're done, and keep your maintenance up on your boat. It pays off in the long run. All right, here we go. See, it sticks way over. Pretty cool. Yeah!